Nick Ripatrazone, the culture editor for Image Journal and the facilitator of the Jesuit Book Club. When I was a college student, I first discovered the sayings of the Desert Fathers and their pithy insights. I liked that I could experience their stories in bits and pieces and realize that their 4th century wisdom was somehow perfectly appropriate for the frantic nature of 21st century life. The soul cannot know God, Abba Amanas wrote in the 4th century, unless it withdraws itself from men and from every distraction. Amanas was a disciple of Saint Anthony the Great, the famous monk who crossed the Nile to barricade himself within an abandoned military fort in the desert. Snakes and other reptiles scurried upon his arrival. Hunkered down with only patience and prayer, Anthony drove away scores of harassing demons and even faced Satan. While it's entertaining to read the more dramatic stories of desert believers, Thomas Merton reminds us that these Christian pilgrims were not fanatical. Rather, he says they were humble, quiet, sensible people with a deep understanding of human nature and enough understanding of the things of God to realize that they knew very little about him. The Desert Fathers lived a life centered in prayer. They recited the Psalms by heart. In fact, they sought a form of unceasing prayer. For those like St. Anthony, Henry Nouwen writes, solitude is not a private therapeutic place. Rather, it is the place of conversion, the place where the old self dies and the new self is born, the place where the emergence of the new man and the new woman occurs. The solitude of the open arid desert is both disorienting and calming, a strain on the body and a stirring of the soul. For the prophet Isaiah, John the Baptist, and even Jesus, the wilderness was where God descends and disrupts. The writings of the Desert Fathers are not ornate, wrought, and stylistic. Instead, they tend to be plain, terse, and aphoristic. They're sometimes only the length of tweets, but they are infinitely more considered and meaningful. This Lent, if you feel the urge to aimlessly scroll through social media or become disillusioned by the news, take a short journey through the sayings of the Desert Fathers instead, and see how a contemplation of life in the desert might bring us some much needed wisdom.